Welcome back to our Getting Started with Consumption Analytics video series. In this episode, we will focus on mapping tables and data rules and how they help translate raw metering data into a meaningful business context. In this scenario, the customer is using HPE Flex services with billing based on VM memory consumption. Metering collects raw usage data from the hypervisor, such as resource name, metering name, and cost. In environments like RHEL, KVM, or SLES Zen, native VM tagging is not available, so consumption analytics only sees basic identifiers such as meter name, resource name, and so forth. To add business context, we use mapping tables and data rules. Mapping tables links VM resource name to attributes such as cost center, business unit, and workloads using an external Excel or CSV file, and then apply data rules to automatically enrich each usage record. This enriched data enables accurate showback of cost and usage in HPE Consumption Analytics. Let's get started in HPE Consumption Analytics. We will begin by creating a simple report to view basic identifiers like resource name, metering name, and cost for our HPE Alletra DHCI 3-node cluster. Navigate to the Reports tab, click Create and select a blank report. Give the report name, then click Add field, add resource name, metering name, and cost, applying each field as you go. Once all fields are added, save the report. This gives us a baseline view of raw usage data before we enrich it using mapping tables and data rules. Next, on the report, click the filter icon, filter on metering name, select HPE Alletra DHCI DL325 3-node cluster and apply. Now we have a clean view of resource names and cost for this specific cluster. This report will serve as the foundation for applying mapping tables and data rules in the next steps. Now let's export this report so we can add business context. From the action menu, select the export CSV/XLS, choose XLS and click export to save the file. Now let's open the exported XLS file. This file contains the raw resource identifiers collected from the hypervisor such as resource, meter names, and cost. We will add new columns for VM name, cost center, and business unit. Using the resource name as the key, we manually populate the corresponding business information of each VM. In this example, the mapping table has already been filled in for clarity. Now let's import the mapping file to enable showback at an organization level. Return to the HPE Consumption Analytics portal, navigate to Data Rules, and select Mapping Tables. Here we will upload the XLS file to link resource name with business units, cost centers, and workloads for accurate showback reporting. After importing mapping data table, let's enhance the mapping table by adding new workload column details per VM. From the action menu, click Edit, then Add Columns, enter VM workload, and populate the workloads for each VM. For this video, the data entry is fast-forwarded. Once complete, click Save to update the mapping table. Next, we will create data fields that will be used to map our mapping table columns. Navigate to Service Settings, then select Fields and click Create Field. Choose Tag as the field type and create fields for VM Showback, VM Cost Center, VM Workload, and VM Department. These fields will be used later in data rules to link business context to each resource. At this stage, we will define rule sets to connect consumption analytics data fields with the correct columns in our mapping data table. These rules use a common identifier such as resource name to enrich raw usage data with business context like VM name, cost center, workload, and business unit. Once applied, this mapping ensures that memory-based consumption is accurately classified and ready for showback reporting. Now let's create a data rule set based out of the mapping table. Navigate to the Data Rules tab and select Rule Sets. Click Create Rule Set, give it a name, choose Flex Account as the data source, select a start date, and then click Add Rule. Now let's configure the rules action. Give a rule name. Under Conditions and Actions, go to the Then section and click Add Action. Select Set the value of a field from a mapping table. This tells Consumption Analytics to populate our business fields using the mapping data table. Now let's configure the actions in our rule set. Under Actions, always select Resource Name as the common key in the Value of Field drop-down. Next, choose the mapping table we created earlier. For the columns, select VM Showback and then map it to the VM Showback data field in Consumption Analytics. Click Apply and add another rule and repeat the same steps to map VM Cost Center, VM Workload, and VM Business Unit to their corresponding data fields. Each rule links a column from the mapping table to the correct business field. Once all mapping are added, save the rule set to enable business level enrichment for showback reporting. Once the rule sets are defined, let's move back to the Reports tab in Consumption Analytics. Open the data mapping report we created earlier. In this video, we have already added the key data fields VM Cost Center, VM Workload, VM Department, and VM Showback, and built grouped charts view using them. The report includes cost per cost center, showing total memory based cost by cost center, cost by workload per cost center, highlighting which workloads drive consumption, cost by department, showing departmental cost distribution, and cost by VMs, providing a detailed view at the individual VM level. Together, these grouped charts give clear visibility into where consumption occurs and who is responsible for the cost. In this video, we showed how to enable showback in environments without having native VM tagging using mapping tables and data rules in HPE Consumption Analytics. We started by identifying raw resource data, exported it to a mapping file, and enriched it with business information like cost center, workload, and department. We then imported the mapping table, created custom data fields, and applied data rule sets to automatically enrich usage records. Finally, we used these enriched fields to build reports and charts for clear cost visibility by cost center, workload, department, and VM. This approach enables accurate showback even in untagged hypervisor environments. Thanks for watching. See you next time.